Stop following diets you hate just to lose weight faster. Because the truth is, these diets will keep you stuck and yo-yoing weight for years. If you're still following diets with strict rules that leave you feeling hungry, exhausted, or just plain bad, you could even be destroying your health in the process. After spending decades losing and regaining the same weight following these strict diets that only set me up to fail, since I ended right back in the same place every single time, I learned the hard way that sustainable weight loss comes from doing what's best for your health, not whatever diet moves the scale down the fastest. After spending tens of thousands of dollars on programs that taught me to do just that, it took me years to reclaim my health and finally figure out a sustainable fat loss approach that actually serves my body instead of completely destroying it. So in this video, I'll show you why all of these restrictive diets are sabotaging your long-term success and what you can do instead so you actually keep the weight off while actually improving your health in the process. As someone who's pretty much been on a diet since I was 12, I get it. When you hear about someone else who lost 15 pounds in a month on some crazy detox diet, or someone else who lost 68 pounds by just eating meat, it is really tempting to jump on board. Because you see their before and after photos and they make it sound so easy, and that's just exactly what you want. But here's what nobody tells you. Those quick results come with a hidden cost. Because your body can only handle so much extreme restriction before it starts fighting back. Like Erica, who left this comment on one of my videos. She said, "I've been doing a 36-hour fast 3 days a week and I feel horrible, but I know I need to keep my insulin down." I can relate because I too once fell down the fasting rabbit hole so deep that I thought going long periods in between eating was the only way that I could lose weight and improve my health, which did work for a while, at least until it completely stopped and I regained every pound. And even though all of this fasting led to painful migraines, chronic exhaustion to the point that I was ready to go back to bed before noon, and looking back, I was pretty much developing an eating disorder in my 30s because I was afraid to even brush my teeth before 10 a.m. because all of these fasting experts told me that it would spike my insulin. But I still kept at it because I wanted to lose weight, and I just kept going despite every red flag that my body was throwing at me. And here's Erica torturing herself because she thinks this is the only way to control insulin. But the real truth is her body is screaming for help, and feeling bad while following these diets that are supposed to improve your health is a huge red flag that she's ignoring. An even harsher truth is that there are actually better ways than starving yourself for days at a time to improve your insulin. But so many health experts teach this to the masses who say that they want to improve their health, but they don't really want to put in the effort. So instead of telling you to walk more, or instead of helping you understand that strength training comes with the same benefits, only it's better, strength training will help you improve your health for years to come, they just keep telling you to fast your way into a healthier body. And anytime intermittent fasting is overdone, that leads most people to feeling pretty bad. But these influencers keep telling you to fast longer and you'll get healthier. But feeling horrible isn't even the worst part, because what happens next is absolutely devastating. Back when I was struggling with my health, which started going downhill after I lost 100 pounds with strict keto and fasting, I signed up for coaching with a popular internet doctor who said that all I really needed was to detox. So while following his $5,000 detox program, I did lose weight quickly. I dropped 15 pounds in only 5 weeks. But looking back, that's mostly because I hated everything that I was actually allowed to eat on the program. I had to cut out 95% of the foods that I actually ate, and this doctor told me that if I wanted to improve my health, it was vital that I ate seafood, which is something that I've avoided since I was born. And even the thought of putting boxed tilapia in my cart left me in the grocery store aisle in tears, literally. Not only that, but this detox program was so aggressive that my throat swelled up for weeks to the point where I couldn't eat any solid food. Once I finally quit because it was way too hard to stick to, I put back on every single pound I lost, and then I couldn't get my scale to stop going up until I regained a full 50 pounds. And I know I'm not the only one who struggled to keep the weight off after following these strict miracle diets, because Sherry also shared her story in my comments. She said, I stopped eating carnivore and gained back 58 of the 68 pounds I lost over 2 years. So after 2 full years of following this extreme diet, she still gained almost everything back. And if you are in the same situation, I want you to know that this isn't your fault. It's not that you're lazy or you don't have enough willpower. Your body has built-in mechanisms that are way stronger than your willpower. So whenever you restrict for too hard for too long, your body will find ways to make you stop. But the weight coming back on isn't even the worst part, because these diets aren't just affecting your weight, since they also come with hidden costs. And for far too many people, it can take years to understand the damage that some of these diets are causing. After regaining 50 pounds, my health was in rapid decline. Not only was I struggling with regaining weight, but my migraines were at an all-time high. I was extremely sensitive to most foods and pretty much all smells. And most days, I was too exhausted to even get up off the couch. So I found another pricey detox program that had me taking supplements around the clock. And when I say around the clock, I mean it. Because I had to wake up at 2 a.m. to take a detox supplement and pray that I would be able to fall back asleep. And then I was walking around all day with these little pill baggies like I was some kind of detox drug dealer. And all of this was just so I can get back to feeling like a human. As any major detox program does, it also came with a plan that involved a strict eating regimen that placed many foods off limits, even real foods that are supposed to improve your health. And it also relied on long periods of fasting in order to help me recover. But thankfully, my inner rebel came out. Because even though the detox coach told me to avoid foods like watermelon, I ate them anyway. Because whenever I gave in to these cravings, I noticed that they helped me feel better. And I also started noticing that the longer I fasted, the worse I felt. So I quit that too. Slowly but surely, my health began improving after I quit worrying about sticking to all of the strict rules, and I instead began trusting my own intuition of what was actually making me feel better. And it turns out that I was doing way more damage with these strict regimens, since all of the strict rules were completely maxing out my stress hormones. And if you're not careful with all of these restrictive diets, you can find yourself in the exact same spot. When you're forcing strict routines like fasting 36 hours 3 times a week, the truth is you're not just restricting calories. You're also putting your stressed out body under even more stress. So your cortisol goes up, your sleep gets worse, and your metabolism slows down to protect you. But even if you're already in the thick of it and still convinced that strict diets are the only way that you'll ever lose weight, here's what finally changed everything for me and what can change everything for you too. Once I quit chasing the fastest results and instead started doing what made me feel good, that's when the weight finally started coming off. And this time, I didn't have to pay some internet doctor thousands of dollars to help me figure it out. Instead of always focusing on following more strict rules, I've finally learned how to nourish my bodies with real food, paired with activity that made me feel stronger instead of always feeling weak and tired. And this was a stark contrast to all of these popular programs I've followed over my life, where I was exhausted 3 weeks in and just wanted to throw my hands up and give up forever. When you focus on improving your health first, that's when the weight loss follows. Remember Sherry, who lost 68 pounds on carnivore only to regain 58 pounds back? Well, here's what else she had to say. In May, I decided to take an approach I've never done before, a sustainable one. I've upped my calories to 2,300, I strength train 2 days per week, and I walk 8,000 steps per day. Sherry is eating more food with more variety and moving her body in ways that she actually enjoys, which is setting her up for long-term success instead of short-term suffering, only to end up in the same spot. This time, she's following sustainable habits where she won't regain everything back the second her plan becomes too hard. Because these slow and steady plans are what set you up for long-term success, which probably leaves you wondering, how do I actually make this shift? Here's what you can start doing today. First, if you are following any diet that ever makes you feel horrible, you need to stop because your body is telling you something that is really important and you should listen. Second, instead of asking, what is the fastest way to lose weight? Ask yourself, what is something you can do that will make you healthier? Because feeling good is what will lead you to do more of these sustainable habits that actually are a long-term solution. Third, focus on adding more healthy habits instead of always looking for what else you can restrict. So doing things like adding more protein, getting more sleep, getting more steps in, these are the habits once you start adding them into your lifestyle, you won't have to constantly restrict because this is you taking care of your health. And taking care of your health makes it so much easier to lose the weight. Because I promise you, suffering never leads to long-term success. The diet that is going to work for you is the one where you build habits that you can actually stick to forever, not the diets that get you the fastest results. But even more important than that, is your health is way more valuable than any quick weight loss. If you're not sure how to get started with habits that actually set you up for success, then you can watch this video next. I'll show you the tiny habits that I use to lose 50 pounds, which are the same sustainable habits I still follow because they help me easily maintain a healthy weight without the constant struggle.